everyone, this is your girl SolieSims and welcome to another speed build video. This time around we're actually doing the July build challenge, which is issued by Simmers Digest, and of course I will be linking the Tumblr, Instagram and website in the description box below, because this is where you would get these awesome challenges. Every single month we are issued a picture of a particular build to draw inspiration from. We can either recreate it exactly or just alter the exterior, etc. of the build as well. So this time around we got this particular house that I'm building. I say house quite loosely because it kind of looks like a smithy. So I'm just going to go ahead and read to you what the rules were. So we had until July 25th to get this done, because it's going to be toured at the end of this month, I believe, at the end of July. And we had to use the hashtag, which I did. And if you want to see any more of these amazing builds in the gallery, you can just do the hashtag SDBuild3 when you want to do the search, so you can have an idea of what everybody else did. I have not looked as yet as to what other persons did. I don't know why I didn't even think about that, just to see what everybody might have come up with, because it is a pretty unique build. It is. But yeah, so anyway, we're supposed to recreate the above house, and of course I'm going to put a little picture of what it's supposed to be right here for you guys to see what it is exactly I'm trying to recreate. And we can use any packs. The builds just has to be CC free, and yeah, so it will be showcased on the 31st of July, which is Friday actually. And all submissions will be showcased on the site as well as Instagram. So this challenge, as always, is just a means to be creative and fun and push your creativity to the test. The goal is to make the house look and feel like the house pictured above. The interiors, landscaping and everything in between is all up to you. Have fun, and he can't wait to see what we create. Okay, so basically that's it. That is it. And this is what I worked with. Now I put this on a large lot. Initially it wasn't supposed to be like just this as big as it turned out. I wanted to put it as a singular house on this lot, but I got to thinking, this is a smithy basically, and I wanted to try to just make it suit the space. I didn't want it to be like just one little smithy all on its own, and I wanted to do it definitely in Oasis Springs, because I feel like the background was perfect for the pictures especially, and you guys will see when you get to see the pictures. I was just able to just move or angle the camera well enough so that the more modern buildings were not coming through a bit, but it suits the space. To me, it suits the time period that I was going for, so I went with that. I ended up doing some of the building off camera, specifically the landscaping, because it's a lot of landscaping. Yeah, so that's it. When I say a lot of land, I mean it's a lot, but not like a lot, but it's a lot. And I went into the debug menu, and I think that took up most of the time in doing it, because of the hunting up of stuff. And by the way, guys, if you don't know, Texie Mexi is on Twitter. There's a post saying that they're actually working on a way to categorize the debug menu as well as clone the debug items, which would be awesome. Of course, it's going to be a mod, but I think it is a time-consuming job, I imagine. But this is perfect. I mean, this is something that we should be able to do, so I'm quite happy with it. So I did the shells of the buildings first before I went in to finish the insides, the interiors, and I went with 3 different styles of builds, like I said. Now, the first one is a smithy. This building in the back is supposed to be a smithy as well, but on a grander scale. But I changed it into like a a maker's space. Kind of. It's just a place where people would go for them to craft, etc. So the first building we did initially, like I said, it is the smithy, and then there is the regular interior living inside, and this one is just going to have one open plan for like a house, and it's basically just a crafting space. Now I used some of the debug items, and again, because I hate going through it, I mean, guys, if you have been listening to me, you know how much I hate going through the debug menu. So it's always a blessing to get those persons who decided to do rooms of the stuff in the gallery. That's what I'm going for. So this one, of course, is from Joe Roderick. So I took his columns room down, and I was able to make the columns seem just a little bit bigger, just a little bit more fitting with the time period as well. And I liked it. I like how it turned out, and I just basically did some hard packed dirt looking terrain paint on the insides, and I think that worked well as well. Now another thing that you will notice at first is that initially my first building, of course, is a lighter shade of brown, and then you see me leaning towards like a deeper tone, a darker tone. I don't know why I always tend to go for like darker tones, darker browns, darker any color really. I tend to go lean towards the darker colors. I do get occasionally the urge or the drive, or something brighter might catch my eye, but for the most part it's always these darker colors. I do change it at the end to the original light wood color that would suit the space just a little bit better, I guess, because we're trying to make it as uniform as possible, right? Anyway, so I sorted it out in the end, and it worked out. This, of course, apart from it being that it's just basically an open space, I also incorporated a makeshift garden. Now in the back of this area here, the workstation, I did put in some planter boxes in the event that you actually want to go in and do like planter, stuff in the planters. However, I also did the faux garden with some debug cabbages, but you can always remove these because I did layer the spaces where planting can be done if you so desire, but you can of course mix and match and do whatever it is you want. And this section here is a combination of three things. It is a stable, well, maybe four things if you think about it. It is a stable to house your animals, etc. It is also a storage shed for food stuff, etc. It is a guest house, as well as a main home, and I don't want to say cantina, a bar. Maybe we can just go with a bar. So basically that is where you would go to wet your whistle and stay the night if you happen to get caught here. And I think this would have been like a really nice pack, just some kind of introduction to the thing, if you could have actually been like a medieval type thing. And I know the Sims 3 had this medieval thing, which is completely not part of the Sims 3 series, but I mean, it came around the same time, so I always associated with this. And by the way, guys, my daughter did tell me to change this in the back, the little hut in the back, and put in a roof instead, which I did, and you guys will see it also. So yeah, so what was I saying? I think that it would have been nice. So in my mind, the way this is, it's like, those little towns where it's been preserved and you can go visit, you can spend the night if you want. So like it's almost like an authentic living type of deal that's going on here. So I do have the three spaces where you can put in your animals, and then there's the hay as well that is just around the corner there as well. So that works. I initially wanted this to be like, excuse me, I have hiccups, guys. I initially wanted this to be like a bakery. I was thinking bakery, but I was like, you know what, maybe we should make it a bar instead of a bakery. I can kind of see that happening. And when I did this, I had no Sims in mind, which is a bit out of the ordinary for me, because normally when I'm building houses or when I'm furnishing spaces, I have an idea of the people that I want to have here. But no, not this time. I have no idea. I literally don't know who I would want to live in this particular spaces, except for maybe there's going to be definitely maybe a couple in the smithy. There's this single person in the crafting area, and then there is a complete family in the bar. So I did hang up a sign showing like it's a bread thing, but it's basically to show that it is like a bed and breakfast type of space, so you can get your breakfast and everything. There are beds to be let out there. The uppermost space in this house, I did not attach anything to. It's not that I didn't attach anything to it. That just sounds wrong, because it's not anything to attach. I did not furnish it, guys. That's what I meant to say. I didn't do anything with that uppermost space, so that in the event of whoever who wants to actually download the house and they had that uppermost space, like the attic, to do whatever it is that they want to do. And it also can be like a space for the kids to play, especially if it's during the winter and it's kind of locked in, because it's, you know, medieval times. There's not much to do out in the winter apart from take care of animals and get back inside. So yeah, so this is, I didn't put any lot rates as well on this. However, I'm not sure that it will be fully functional for cooking. There are literally no counters in this whole lot. I didn't place down one counter. What I did do, however, is put down lots of log stoves. So each of the builds have at least one stove, so you can do your cooking. There is a bonfire area outside as well, so you can do some of that. I did not want to put in a fridge because, of course, it wasn't at the time of this. There were no fridges. I mean, there were places like you could, and I guess because of the new off the grid stuff as well, if it's snowing and stuff, you can have an ice box basically. And I wouldn't say no for it, but I had no place to put it. And then another thing that I wanted to do as well is an outhouse, but then I didn't think about doing an actual outhouse until I was almost done basically with stuff, and I couldn't figure out where I wanted to place it, so I just left it without. I didn't put anything there to say it's an outhouse. The only place that doesn't have an actual bathroom, etc., is the little 1-bedroom space. Another thing that I tried to incorporate as well is the use of a face basin. And when I say this, my daughter says, "Oh, you remind me of mom when you say that, like her grandmother, my mother." That's because I guess from the time period that she's from as well. I'm not saying that she is, you know, exceedingly old, but they did speak it just a little bit differently. So she would sometimes refer to the bathroom sink or as a face basin, but this is because she's from the countryside originally. So this is, I guess, where it all originated, where when you wake up on a morning, there is, and it would be translated the same way with in this particular time period, there is this basin or container, a jug or something, a pitcher of water, where you used to wipe down your face, etc., shake out water in your mouth, etc. All of these good little things. These things happened also. If you read any historical romances, there were times when you would come across that in the books as well, that they would need to use the basin for cleaning up themselves and etc. I'm not saying that my mother went through this. I'm just saying that this is where the face basin thing originated from. Okay, so in this space here, I'm just making like empty bins where you could store like wood and furniture, and I do have the tool mod and I never remembered to use it. I could have put all of these bits and pieces to stand up inside of the bin on this against the wall, but I didn't remember that. I completely forgot to use the tool mod. Another thing that I don't do, and of course if you're a regular to the channel, you would know that this is something that I don't do. I don't overclutter. I never overclutter. I never clutter on the whole. My houses are mostly clean, streamlined, and occasionally you might get 1-2 little pieces of stuff thrown about, but I don't really. I always believe that the persons downloading my builds would want to have space to be able to incorporate their own sim collections into the house, especially with the wall art, etc. All of these things that I always think of it that way. Here I'm trying to create some kind of I don't want to say desk, but like a pulley, like a bin with drawers. So I did put in, there we go, I did put these in, and I kind of like the look of it just as is, but I noticed because of course I raised it up, there was space in the bottom, so I had to rework that to try to make it into something that I could actually use. And I like how it looked like it had that rope bit hanging out there, and that's what you'd have to pull, and I felt it's again suited the time period, so that was fine as well for me. Of course, by the time of doing this, I had already placed I had stopped. I think I did this like over a period of time. Well, not I think, I definitely did it over a period of time. So I stopped and I did the landscaping, then I came back to doing that. So it was just a matter of going back and forth just a little bit. Now I'm starting to go on the interior, and in my mind I had an idea that most of these houses had like loft areas. Now if I had continued and I put in a lot of the smithy things in the interior at the bottom, I would have, and that's what I initially wanted to do, was put the living quarters upstairs. It would have just been like a bed, etc., blah 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 blah. However, I felt that because we have the workstation, I didn't want this place to seem like it was only for just like it wasn't, I didn't want it to be too much like a commercial type of space. I did want it to feel like it was part of a home as well, so I wanted to make it mostly into like a residential feel. So I did put in a double bed, and of course I think if that still works, where the sim can scooch all the way to the end, then it would work fine and it would be fine. I did not put any chandeliers or regular bulbs in there. I put in a lot of lanterns. I put in a lot of the candle holder things. And I did go in and I collected just a little bit of the debug candles as well from the Eco Lifestyle pack. Again, I didn't go overboard with it because I did have the candle making thing there as well. So that the option for that is there, so they can make their own candles, etc. So I did think of that. I did think of them in that way. Anyway, I did put in fireplace. I can't believe I forgot that word. I had to put in a fireplace simply because it gets cold at night. It gets cold, and I believe that each of these houses deserve to have a hearth of some kind. So this is where that one comes in, of course. I figured that the table here would be used, not the eating table, the dining table, I mean the selling table. I use it also as a counter space, so this is a place where they could rest their stuff, etc. And I figured the well would be where they used, I mean it serves the whole community basically, and the community is pretty small. It's like a tiny space. So basically, yes. And the trunk is something else that I felt that was so cute and so appropriate to be placed in the space. Again, if you're a reader of historical romances, you would have read that most of the time, and I used to read a lot of Highlander historical romances, by the way. So they're always traveling, and they're always traveling with their clothes in trunks. They never really had like wardrobes. I mean, they did. I mean, like for the more wealthier persons, but for the most cases, they had trunks of stuff they would have to air out and smoothen out. And if it was a fancy dress, they would have to lay it out on the bed and smooth it off. All of these little good, yummy, not yummy, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm hungry, I'm thinking food. All of these little things that they could do, right? So anyway, so I left upstairs more like a storage space, so that this little family can have a chance to grow. And the upstairs area would have been where they would have their children stay when they do have children. And yeah, so they do have a little dog. I did put in something for the dog. Of course, it's just a statue, but if you do want to have a real dog, you can add the dog as well. I didn't put in anything apart from just the food bowl and the dog sleeping space for the dog. So you'd have to do that as well if you decide that you're going to download this house lot, whichever you want to call it. This is the single sim room, basically. So yeah. So I did a faux fireplace for this one, and then I realized that I didn't have space for me to do a washroom. So that one would have to use the public bathroom or something that's in the, I don't know what's in the bakery, not the bakery. I'm still saying bakery, guys. I'm definitely hungry and I'm thinking food. It's in the, oh my gosh, what's it called? Oh my gosh, what's it called, guys? The bar, yes. And so I did put it in a table as well. I mean, the table that I put in, it's kind of big for a single sim, right? Because you don't need two seats if it's only one of you, and I completely disregarded that. And when I did it, and it's only now in hindsight, I'm thinking that I could have done it differently. But anyone who wants to change that around can change it around. I have no problem with that. I'm quite okay with it. What I wanted to do here, and I tried to do it, is make it look like the person is actually cooking in the hearth, similar to what you would get from The Sims Medieval, where they could have cooked in that little space that afforded them warmth as well. And I was happy with that. And I did some outdoor seating areas as well as putting a bench on the inside. So you can come here, you can have something to eat, you can have a drink or two with your tankards, etc. As you can see, even the chandeliers that's there, it's all that basically. If you would notice that I don't have the upstairs in the video, that is because this is the second time that I'm recording this and I accidentally deleted the footage of doing the upstairs area, so forgive me for that. You guys will see it in the pictures. But as of now, I'm going to just trickle along and have you guys enjoy the views that is being afforded to use. Anyway, guys, I will see you again in the next video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't as yet. Bye.